Hello, class. We will begin today's lesson discussing power rules for exponents. And I wanted to make sure that we understand that we're planning to apply the powers rule exponent to simplify expressions. We plan to use the power of product rule to simplify expressions, and also the quotient to simplify expression, as well as a combination and putting it all together to simplify expressions. So please watch the models, copy the models, practice, and let's get comfortable with applying the power rule. So applying the power rule is simply where we will take a to the m, raise it to the m, and we will multiply those exponents. So in model A, x squared raised to the fourth power, notice it's raised to a power. So we will solve that by showing 2 times 4 for the power rule. Once we apply the power rule, that gives us the result of x to the 8th. That is how we apply the power rule. B model, x to the 5th raised to the negative 2. Same process. I will have x 5 times a negative 2. That result will give me x raised to the negative 10. But as we recall, our negative exponent rule that we must state it in the positive state, that means we need to flip x to the negative 10 to a positive state. So that will become 1 over x to the 10. Final answer. C model, same process. Y to the negative 7 raised to the second power. What will I show here? I will show y, once again applying the power rule, negative 7 times 2. That result will be 8y raised to the negative 14. What do we see here is that we need to identify this as a negative 14, but we need to show it in a positive state. So y to the 14 will become positive in the denominator. Therefore, our fraction will become 1 over y to the 14. And D model. D model simply shows us 2 to the 3rd raised to the negative 2. And right away, what do we know? We know that 3 times negative 2. So we simply have 2 raised to 3 times negative 2. And that result will be 2 to the negative 6. Once again, what will I need to do? Express it in the positive state, 2 to the 6th power. But because we know that we can compute 2 to the 6th power, once we raise that 2 to the 6th power, that becomes 1 over 64. Final answer. And final answer there. All right, let's look at our second group of models, and notice here that we're going to apply the power rule. And here with the power rule, we will look at how to solve using the appropriate procedures. So with 5x raised to the second power, notice that there's parentheses, and so that means each term would be raised to the second power, 5 as well as the x. Well, of course, 5 times 5 will give us 25. And so there we get 25x squared. Final answer. Same process with B, negative 7ab raised to the second power. So that means negative 7, it'll be raised to the second power. A, it will be raised to the second power. B will also be raised to the second power. So given negative 7 times negative 7, that result will be a positive 49, a squared, b squared. Final answer. Likewise, a to the negative b, negative 5, with ab raised to negative 5. And what do we notice? B will become a negative 5. So first of all, foremost is negative, so I need to make it into a positive state. So a will go in the denominator to be a to the 5th power. B will go in the denominator to be b to the 5th power. So there we show 1 over a to the 5th, b to the 5th. Final answer there. Here, x to the second times y to the negative 3 raised to the 4th power. So what will I notice here is that I will have to take x to the second, raise it to the 4th power. I will have to take y to the negative 3 and raise it to the 4th power. And here we know by multiplication, x times 2 times 4 will give me x to the 8th. And y to the negative 3 times negative 4 will give me negative 12. What do I observe is that x over 8, but however, I need to show negative 12 in the positive state. So that'll be y over y to the 12th, final answer. Here, let's put it all together. So 3a squared b raised to the second power over a cubed b squared. So what I realize here is I will begin by squaring 3 to the second power. I will take a squared, square it. And there I will take b and square it over a cubed. It will need to be squared, raised to the second power. And b squared, it will need to be raised to the second power. So I realize that 3 squared will become 9. Here, 2 times 2 will give me a to the 4th. And then I show b squared over 3 times 2 will give me a to the 6th. And 2 times 2 will give me b to the 4th. Final answer should be 9 a to the 4th b squared over a to the 6th b to the 4th. Final answer. Last problem, x cubed over y to the 5th raised to the negative 4th power. First thing we need to apply is the negative exponent rule. So that would mean I need to do a rewrite and allow the interchange to occur here in the parentheses. So by doing so, the x to the 3rd will then become in the denominator with making it a positive state. Y to the 5th will then become in the numerator. And that will allow the exponent to become a positive 4. Once I do so, I apply the power rule. Y to the 5th times 4 x cubed, and that is also raised to the 4th power. So my final answer would be y to the 20th over 3 times 4 x to the 12th. So please take a moment and process. If you need to rework the problems, please do so. But I hope you found this helpful, enlightening, and I thank you for your time and see you soon. Bye now.